Joining us now is Doug Flynn, co-founder of Flynn Zito Capital Management, LLC. Doug, there's no question the stock market is doing great. Can President Trump take the credit for this?
I think partially he can. He has indicated lower regulations. He's created some tax breaks for people that put more money in their pocket, and that certainly has translated into a wonderful retail sales year. People are spending money, and they're in a really good financial position, both with their after-tax dollars and paying down debt and spending. So yeah, that's definitely propelling the market as people keep buying more stuff.
Yeah, we're going into 2020, and is it going to be a good year for us financially?
Well, history is on our side that it is going to be a good year. You know, when the market is up over 30% like it is this year, that's happened about a dozen times. And in 10 of those times, the following year, the market's up another 15% on top of that.
And historically, with a presidential election, we do well.
Yes, and even more so in a presidential election when the incumbent is going for re-election. In those years, going back almost 100 years, the market's up just under 13% on average during those periods. So if you take both of those pieces of data, backdrop it with all of the economy doing pretty well, it sets us up for we possibly could have another low double-digit year next year in the markets, which is not a bad thing.
What advice do you give to your clients this time of year? They always say take care of the taxes and everything. What are you telling them right now?
Yeah, so you have a couple of days before the end of the year, and there's a couple of things you might want to do. One of the things that you can do is if you're planning for your kids' education, there's over 30 states that have a state tax deduction for your college planning. 529. So if you want to do that, if you're doing it anyway, you want to get that in before December 31st in most cases. The other thing you want to do is you want to take a look at your statements. You know, I've been doing this a long time, and there's two times people tend not to look at their statements. One is when the market isn't doing well, because they don't want to look at it. And one is when the market's actually doing well. They just think, hey, I'm doing well, I'm not going to look at my statement. One of the things I would suggest is you get in there, you look at your statements for your non-retirement accounts, and maybe pick out some of the losses that you might have had. They might be in there somewhere. That's an opportunity to sell those losses for a tax loss this year before December 31st. Now, you can't buy back the same security for 31 days, but one of the first key things you want to look at when you're thinking about selling a stock or a fund is, would you buy it again? If you wouldn't buy it again, that's probably a key indication you probably should take a look at maybe taking the loss. People don't like to admit that they have a loss,
right.
But it's a good time to get in there before the end of the year, open up those statements this weekend and say, you know, maybe there's a couple of things in here I can sell before the end of the year and take that tax loss.
What do you think about the economy coming up this year? Because a lot of people were talking recession this time last year, and now people aren't talking about that as much.
Yeah.
What's the outlook for just getting out there and getting a job?
Sure. Well, I mean, the job numbers are great. I mean, you have a couple of things that are going on as a backdrop. You have positive jobs numbers. You have the consumer.
50-year low unemployment.
50-year low unemployment. The wages are in good shape. You have the trade deals coming through. So there's a lot of positives as a backdrop for the economy to continue. And, you know, we haven't had a lot of volatility, but also some of those talks of recession are quite good, because the more that people think that maybe we might still have that as a possibility.
Climb the wall of worry.
Yes, and then it gives you the market a chance to continue on. You know, just because we've been going on a long time doesn't mean that it's going to end based on length. There needs to be a catalyst. The thing is, there's really no catalyst lurking out there that we can see that would create a long-term problem in the near term. Now, after next year, we'll see what happens, but the backdrop is pretty good for 2020.
But like Alison said, typically election years are good. So
they're very good.
Maybe we got another one coming up. Doug Flynn, thank you very much, co-founder of Flynn Zito Capital Management.